Today I will be doing report writing with you. I will provide 3 templates with examples and then another 3 bonus templates without examples so you can experiment on these on your own. If you're writing report for the first time, you might want to visit this video first. I'll put a link up here for you. Welcome to English Step by Step. I am Miss Wee and I make videos for English first and second language. Now let's talk about what a report should do. So it should give information and suggestions to the reader. It should be a mixture of fact, both fact and opinion. It should include a heading and some subheadings, and it should have a formal tone. This is the structure of a report. So you start with a heading. In the introductory paragraph, state the purpose of the report and what you're reporting on. In the next paragraph, supply the positive points. The paragraph after that, the negative points. And finally, suggestions for improvement. If you are interested in seeing how I do the planning for report writing, please go and visit this video. I'll put a link up here for you. Or this one. Again, I'm going to put a link up here for you. And for templates for the 4 types of writing, report, review, article, essay, please watch this video. I'll put a link up here for you. Today we're going to do this particular question. You and your class recently spent the day at a science exhibition, and now your teacher has asked you to write a report about it. In your report, say what you learned from the trip and how it could be improved if it is repeated next year. Here are 2 comments from your classmates. In the newer exam papers, there are 4 comments. Here, there are only 2. I liked meeting a real scientist, so that's positive. It was a really long day, that's negative. Write a report for your teacher, giving your views. The comments above may give you some ideas, and you can also use some ideas of your own. In fact, you have to use some ideas of your own, or you may not get very high marks. This is the first template. So write the word report and then what you are reporting on. So get this from the question or the prompt. Introduction. The aim of this report is to evaluate. So the thing you're reporting on, which took place on, at, and the place, focusing on its strengths and weaknesses. This report is based on feedback from participants and personal observations. So the strengths, first, point and development. If you don't know what development is, please look at one of my other videos where I talk about this. Secondly, point and development. And then weaknesses. On the other hand, point and development. In addition, point and development. So there are 2 points here. You can have 3 points if you want. In my original template, my subheading here is positive points and here negative points. Now I'm trying out different subheadings. So choose what you like. Recommendations to enhance future events like this. It is recommended that point and development, also point and development. Now we have a report that is written using this template and based on the exam question that I showed you earlier.
Report. Science Exhibition Trip. Introduction. The aim of this report is to evaluate the recent science exhibition trip on 12th March, attended by our class at the National Science Center. It will highlight both strengths and weaknesses based on feedback and experience. Strengths. Firstly, we had the chance to meet a real scientist who spoke about current research on climate change. It was inspiring and made science feel more relevant and exciting. Secondly, the interactive displays helped us understand scientific principles through hands-on experiments. Weaknesses. On the other hand, the trip lasted too long, and many students felt exhausted by the end. In addition, the schedule was too packed, leaving little time for breaks or proper lunch. Recommendations. To improve the experience, the trip should be shortened or include longer rest periods. Also, allowing students to choose which activities to attend would make the day more enjoyable and less tiring.
Okay, let's move on to the next template. So this is template 2, again, report and what you're reporting on. I think it's good to underline the heading and the subheadings. Introduction. This report has been compiled to provide feedback on held on to date, attended by whom. It includes positive features, areas for improvement, and suggestions to make future events more effective. So another way of saying positive points, what went well? One of the major strengths was point and development. Another positive aspect was point and development. Again, you can have 3 points if you wish. Areas needing improvement, that's another way of saying negative points. Nevertheless, point and development, another drawback was point and development. Suggestions for improvement to address the above issues, it would be helpful to point and development. Another suggestion is endpoint and development. So I'm answering the same question but using a different template.
Report Science Exhibition Visit. Introduction. This report provides feedback on the recent science exhibition visit held on the 12th of March. It includes what we enjoyed, what could be improved, and suggestions for future trips. What went well? One of the highlights was meeting a real scientist who explained complex ideas in a simple and engaging way. Another positive aspect was the opportunity to try out science experiments, which made learning fun and memorable. Areas needing improvement. Nevertheless, many students mentioned that the day felt extremely long, especially with so many talks and activities. Another issue was the limited time given for lunch, which made it difficult to relax and recharge. Suggestions for improvement. To make future trips better, we suggest having fewer sessions with longer breaks in between. Another idea is to provide a printed schedule in advance so students can plan their day better.
Moving on to template 3, again, report and the topic. Introduction. This report describes the participation in the event by whom, on what date, and at the place. The report covers the event's positive elements, challenges encountered, and proposed improvements. So you can either put benefits or positive experiences. To begin with, point and development, also point and development. Challenges faced, that's the negative points. Despite the positive aspects, there were challenges such as points and development. Another issue was point and development. Ways to improve participation, so that's another way of saying suggestions. For greater involvement in the future, point and development. Additionally, point and development. Now let's look at a report that is based on the same question but a different template.
Report Class Visit to the Science Exhibition. Introduction. This report describes our class visit to the science exhibition at the National Science Center on the 12th of March. It highlights what students learned, the challenges faced, and ideas for improving similar trips. Benefits positive experiences. To begin with, meeting a real scientist was a valuable experience. He spoke about his research and answered our questions, which helped us understand science in the real world. Also, the hands-on experiments and interactive displays made learning more engaging and enjoyable. Challenges faced. Despite the benefits, the day was very long and tiring. Many students struggled to stay focused during the final sessions. Another issue was the tight schedule, which left little room for rest. Ways to improve participation. For future trips, organizers should consider shorter hours or spreading the activities over 2 days. Additionally, students could be given more free time to explore areas that interest them the most.
Now we're going to move on to the bonus templates. So here we have template 4 again, report introduction. This report describes our experience during the event, attended by whom, on, when, at, and the place. It covers the most enjoyable moments, some challenges we faced, and ideas for making it better next time. What went well? To begin with, point and development. Another positive aspect was point and development. Problems faced. Despite the positives, point and development. Another issue was point and development. Suggestions. In the future, it would help to point and development. Another useful idea is point and development. So try this out on your own. Template 5, report and the topic. Introduction. The purpose of this report is to share students' opinions about and to suggest improvements if it is organized again. It is based on personal observations and comments from classmates. Positive feedback. Many students said that point and development. Some also mentioned that point and development. Now take note that you should be using reported speech and not direct speech. Negative feedback. However, a few students felt that point and development. Others complained that point and development. Improvements. One suggestion is to point and development. Another idea is point and development. Moving on to the 6th template. Again, like what I said in the video for review writing, I've given you a lot of templates, so try them all out and eventually you'll be able to come up with your own style of writing. Report again, and the title, Introduction. This report outlines what students learned during and highlights possible improvements to make the experience better next time. Main learning points. Firstly, we learned point and development. Secondly, the experience taught us point and development. Difficulties or challenges, on the other hand, point and development, also point and development. Ways to improve future events like this, point and development, additionally, point and development. If you found this video useful so far, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also look out for this video where I talk about the difference between these 4 types of writing. I also give a bird's eye view of the 4 different templates. I have lots more videos, make sure you check them out. If you have questions, leave them in the comment box below. And if you need tutoring, you can contact me here. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.